And we're recording. And we're live. Go.
No, we're not live. We're not live yet.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, so I do, I've enjoyed the fruits of that. And it was sort of the same thing. I don't know about you, but I was expecting to get like totally like Spanish Inquisitioned when I signed up for it. And I quite literally thought I was talking to like an admin while I was filling everything out. And I'm like, okay, now let's go on to the interview. She's like, no, that was it. And it's just like,
there's
kind
5 minutes.
Yeah, kind of somewhat pissed off Quebecois woman. That's why I thought she's an admin. And and she's like, no, you're all set. I'm like, that was it? Wow. So
Were you able to do it in Detroit, or did you have to come over here to do it?
at Detroit. So it's right. There's a point right at, it's like literally right underneath the Ambassador Bridge. It's crazy, but that's where the point was there.
So here, let's save some of this for the show, because let's talk about America and Canada and going over the border, because I got some fun stories.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm just glad you wore that lovely shade of purple too. It's masculine as hell.
Yeah.
Masculine.
It's got a fighting bear.
This is not a bear that looks like a fucking dog on steroids.
Sure.
All right, let's
see here. Oh, we got one more.
Let me get to my Facebook thing.
I love your color-coded bookshelf, though.
You like that? It's the first you've seen that?
I don't think I paid attention before.
Well, like everybody makes such a big deal about it, especially Arnold has to say something every time about it.
He puts in. Yeah, Arnold's one to talk about anything.
But yeah, so color-coded bookcase, and they're all real. Everybody asks that question too. Are those all real? Like it's all they're all books.
And they're real books. I just don't read.
Yes, yeah, they're just strictly for decoration.
Also admiring your Basil Hayden's. Like, is that Elijah Craig back there?
Yeah. What else do you see?
Can't make out the other two.
Russell's 12-year, which is amazing, and there's a bottle of Eagle Rare back there. I'm trying to think. I can't see what's back there. Kind of wrong.
Those are the only four I see. Yeah.
This hidden ones. This is the crown jewel in my collection. Oh, hang on. Well, it's one of them. Real Maker's Mark mint julep I got in Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever opened it?
No, I won't. I got it and I just never opened it. It's that awesome.
Hold on, I gotta send Brent the code. Not that the code's ever changed, but what the fuck else?
Ever since impending death was just like on the horizon all the time, I wanted to drink a little bit better bourbon. So
yeah, it's good.
You know, I will say, since COVID, I mean, the only time I think some people think I'm a drinker just because I do drink when I go to the conferences, but when I'm on the road traveling, when I'm training, as Bill will tell you, I almost never drink. He and I might have one drink, maybe two over dinner, but usually I will never drink if I got to speak the next day, if I've got a conference the next day. I will speak the night after I will drink the night after I speak at a conference, but usually I keep everything buttoned up, and I'm known for pretty much just not drinking at home. Like, I just don't like drinking at home. I like drinking out and about, but I don't like drinking at home. So I will say, since coronavirus hit, I've probably drank 4 times, period.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you started drinking every day.
No, I'm thinking
4 times more.
Once a month. Saturday, I poured myself 4 vodka tonics.
4?
4.
Shit, get after it. I'm like a 1 a month person now. Maybe like I'm a 1 a week person. So I am drinking about 4 times more.
Fucking
Brent
dropping fucking times with that shirt.
No, dude,
I could dress like you. You got cargo shorts on too?
No, I don't have. Well, cargo shorts mean they have the second pockets, right? No, but I do have khakis.
There you go.
Shit. Bill's running.
Bill's got his fucking cargo shorts on. He probably has really comfy sandals on as well.
I guarantee you, Bill's like, yeah. I was gonna say, I gotta bet money he's barefoot as a mother.
It's not a fashion show here at the Playford household. That's a sweet ska shirt, Brent. I really want to kick on some specials.
Goes with my new sweepers I just bought.
There you go. You just need a black Cadillac now and you're all set.
And you guys, if you want, once this goes live, you can share it remember when you open up the Facebook link, there's more for Will. When you open up the Facebook link, because I'll tag you all in this, you'll want to lower the volume.
Okay.
This is
What
new.
if we don't use Facebook anymore?
I agree. I get it.
Well, where are you going now?
I'm mad at you.
Where are you going to talk about Trudeau, Brent?
What's that?
I said, where would you go to talk about Trudeau?
I don't talk politics on. Well, I do a little bit.
Remember, the topic is going to be fuck coffee. But again, you guys can beat up on me because I don't drink it.
We live yet?
Are we starting?
Yes.
Are we there yet?
Almost.
What do you guys do with the recorded version? Like, what do you do? Do you
We fucking send it to Joe's mom after, because she's the only one that watches it.
She has the archives.
All right, here we go. We do keep them on.
I'm just running on fumes and caffeine. This is going to be bad today.
So, welcome to your Monday morning roast. I'm your host, Joe Webb, along with my co-host and guest host, Bill Playford, Brent Wees, and the illustrious Will McGinnis. Since Eric Milch wasn't going to be joining us and Dave Hudson can't join us, I did reach out to Will and said we need another bald person. This is our 10th episode, the big 1-0. I almost said 10-0. And our show is the equivalent of gathering around the old water cooler, coffee in hand, catching up on each other's weekends, discussing current events along with topics such as life, love, not much work. If you have something to say on the topic, share a relevant story, or ask questions, just drop in your comments into the Facebook Live feed. Just know you may be subjected to a question or two in return, maybe even a light roast, hence your Monday morning roast. So cheers, boys.
The Itchy Boss? What does that say?
It says the anti-boss. I'm glad you mentioned that. So one of my Second City troop members has his own sort of one-man interactive show called The Anti-Boss. He's still doing stand-up to this day. Super funny guy named Mike Maxwell in Chicago. So if they ever want to go to a fun, interactive, sort of workplace comedy, interactive improv set, it's called The Anti-Boss. So great. With that, I wanted to really quick, and I won't go through the whole weekends, but I want to hear, Bill, what was the single best part of your weekend? One thing that happened.
I don't know. But Will being on that's today, so I can't count that. So I like to make fun of him so much.
Best thing on a Monday.
It's so top thing about my weekend. I finished the series called Devs, and it's actually amazing. And I think I would like to.
A TV show?
Yes, it was a series. It was a series on Hulu, and it was an absolute mind-exploding plot. So it was right up my alley.
Excellent. Brent, what was the single best thing that happened this weekend to you?
Got Maggie behind the wheel of the car. She's just about to get her learner's permit. So first school parking lot, drive around do some laps in the parking lot. Yep, that was
S-turns.
awesome.
S-turns.
Yeah, S-turns all over the place. I'm like, no, you have to do the turns of the alphabet. Inside joke. But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, no, we all know what that joke is. And Will, what was the best single part of your weekend?
Well, I'm still on house arrest, so I didn't really get to leave the house. I crossed back over into Canada, so.
And then went to a little park with kids, and then looked really suspicious.
Just
and
coughed on everybody.
Sorry, are you in Canada now, or are you in the States?
No, I'm back. I'm in Toronto. But I watched 21 Bridges, movie guy, and it was pretty decent.
It's decent. I'm a big fan of Chadwick Boseman as an actor, but so I like him. So and he's in an even better movie called A Message from the King that I recommend seeing if you like him. So speaking of crossing over into Canada, and our topic of today is going to be coffee, and how I want you guys to educate me because I think coffee is stupid and I'm not a fan of coffee, and coffee's dumb. So, but with that said, Canada hates me. when I travel for the most part into Canada. Every time I've gone into Canada and flown, I've made the mistake of when customs ask me why I'm there. The first time I went there, I think I said, I'm here to speak at a conference. And they're like, no, you're not. So step aside. And they literally made me open up my presentation and deliver 30 minutes of an automotive marketing presentation because they didn't believe something like automotive marketing exists, apparently. And that was in like Ottawa. So they did not like me, but they really helped me out. Next time I went, they held me up for about 30, 45 minutes. Next time. And then they started asking me, like, you need a work visa, you need this. But I said, I only come like once every 2 years. So I don't know if I do. And I remember when I was driving with John Sherrill from Seattle up into Vancouver and back down, on the way in, they grilled us. They don't like jokes, nothing. And they grilled us for like 8 minutes just trying to get across the border. But on the way back in, like you're waving like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, just coming home. Like they don't care. Nobody cares coming into the States. They're like, hey, I like the cut of your jib. Drive on through, pal.
That's kind of like basically why the States is where it's at now, though, right? No one cares.
It's exactly. It's the whole reason.
Do the math, Joe.
Yeah.
There's a reason we don't want you coming in.
So, but now, as you know, last time when Brent and I were speaking together at that, I forget.
The Ball Diamond at Rogers Center.
At the Rogers Center. So I had a layover in Charlotte, and my flight, we took off and immediately came back down real hard.
Joe, do you need us on right now? Or can I take a break? What's going on?
I want to tell the story.
Oh, my gosh.
I drove up, and as I was crossing the border from Charlotte to Toronto.
Just going to play golf class.
I had 16 hours to drive 14 hours, and I made it. But as I'm crossing in, they said, what are you here for? I said, I'm coming up for my buddy Brent's 50th birthday. And I didn't say anything about speaking. I didn't say anything about work. They're like, oh, that's really nice of you. Come on in. It's that easy to get in. And
Bill said that, though. Bill once crossed the border saying he was going to his buddy Brent's place. They tore his car apart.
And they literally went through my car, went through my suitcase, confiscated my phone, read my text messages, and detained me for about a half an hour.
That's crazy.
It was a little cray-cray.
Yeah.
But I have another question, though, in regards to the Canadian Border Patrol. Like, is there, like, a special, like, foundry where these dudes are built? Because they're all, like, about 6'5" and, like, a good solid 260.
They're all prairie kids. They're all farm kids.
Bearded and tattooed. They always have sleeves and beards.
They look like Russian mafiosos or something. I don't know. I swear to
That's
God.
why I never had a problem. I was bald and bearded and tattooed.
Yeah, exactly. That. You have your tattoos of your whatever. And no, this one dude, I swear to God, was like 6'11". Like, he was an absolute mutant. And people just like, all the other civilians just kind of like gave him this wide berth, and everybody thinks of Canadians as being all like, oh, hey, that's land of comedians, and they're all happy-go-lucky, and they're sorry about everything. Then there's whatever these freaking mongoloids they get to run the border. I swear to God, they're like it's like some kind of Marvel universe like camp they're made at. They're like inculcated into the RCMP or whatever, and they're just programmed to stop suspicious-looking Americans or just average run-of-the-mill dad bod guys like me. I'm super suspicious. So
pitter-patter.
What it is? Okay, let's get at her.
So I want you guys to educate me about coffee because, as you know, and it upsets people, I've never tasted coffee. I've never tried coffee. I've never drank coffee. I've never ordered a cup of coffee.
You've never tasted coffee? Never.
I'm sure I've tasted. I'm sure I've tasted it. I'm sure.
Let's reel it back in a bit here, okay?
No. Okay, here. I'll tell you where I tasted it. Jerry Tebow and his spark plug shots.
Oh, shit.
So I don't know if that's coffee liqueur or if that's got real coffee in it, but it's a shot. And but I will say I've never taken a cup of coffee, anybody's cup of coffee, and sipped it. Never, not once. I know it's coffee, not doing it. And I never like the smell at all. Our home, while we have a coffee maker, my wife probably has 3 cups of coffee a year. It's more for when family comes in to stay with us. So I want you to educate me because I don't understand people's sheer love affair of coffee. Go, Brett, do you need to have a cup of coffee when you wake up?
I don't need it when I wake up, but I make it. I make a press of coffee every
So
morning.
you do have coffee every morning.
Yes.
So that's sort of like you need it. Bill, do you have coffee every morning?
There you go.
So I need it like medicine, okay? I'm so addicted to caffeine that it's not really a matter of want coffee. It's a matter like I need it. Otherwise, I get a really bad headache.
So it is. So that's what I wanted to understand is it's like it's part of your DNA now, it seems. Because when Bill and I will travel together, like they have coffee in every hotel, you know? Yeah. And he'll say, no. We've got to find a Starbucks.
So let me elaborate on that because we're all road warriors here. Will especially is probably traveled more miles than any of us. Starbucks is like a taste of home. And so like anywhere I like to go, anywhere I travel, like I crave for something familiar. Typically hotel coffee just leaves me disappointed. So I don't like it, but like I always liked that Starbucks because it helps make me feel no matter where I'm at, like it helps give me a feeling of familiarity. And that's been developed over years. So, I mean, even when I've gone to Europe, like it's just like, I hit a Starbucks. Even though it's the worst thing. I hate it. It makes me the most American, but like it's like a piece of home that I get to taste. And it's good.
I just heard Starbucks' new slogan.
What?
You make people feel like they're at home because there's a Starbucks on every corner.
It's true. It's true.
So you've also said though, Bill, that you get your coffee a different way almost every time to keep you sort of fresh. So you know the different, like, no matter what, you'll go to Starbucks 6 days in a row and get 6 different types of coffee.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's funny enough, I used to work for Starbucks when I was in grad school. I never wanted to be a coffee drinker. I never wanted to like Starbucks because, like Brent, I had like kind of punk rock sensibilities. But, of course, a girl introduced me to Starbucks, and I started studying there in grad school. I go to Starbucks.
Who was she?
What?
Who was she?
I'm not mentioning names. And she introduced me to Starbucks. It was right in our neighborhood, so we met there. It was a nice like place in between. And then pretty soon I started getting free drinks, and then pretty soon I started working there. So I worked for Starbucks for a couple of years while I was finishing up school, and they taught you a lot about coffee. Like this is back in the old days. This is before they had all the machines and it was all automated and all that nonsense. Like you actually had to make the espresso, and a lot like your training when you were peddling wine, they really teach you about the different types of beans and where they're from and the terroir that makes those beans and so on and so forth.
Wines aren't named as beans, but continue.
Gives you a lot of appreciation for the different varieties and stuff like that. So that's part of why I like to get something a little bit different every day is like to taste those different beans and just kind of keep things messed up. And then I'm also like, it just, like you said, it keeps me sharp. I don't like to get into too many routines. So I like to be really in the moment and cognizant of what's going on.
So Will, you had mentioned before we started that you're not a coffee guy either.
I'm not. No.
Have you ever drank coffee?
No, I'm very similar to you. I'm sure I've tasted it, but it doesn't interest me one bit. I also suck at drinking hot stuff for the most part, so always burn my tongue or burn the roof of my mouth. And the taste is, I like the smell actually, so I am different from you there. I like the smell of coffee, but I do not like the taste, and it doesn't do anything for me. See, I used to be. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I drink tea, obviously, so I just. But it's not even
my grandma.
It's not even hot.
You guys may remember I used to carry around a Rockstar or a Monster like every day.
So you're a hustler and a grinder.
But I quit that cold turkey 3 years ago, which I'm grateful for. So
that shit's poison.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, hang on. Have you seen those videos where people literally take the Monster energy drinks and like do these crazy chemical reactions with them?
No.
I'll make sure I share some to this thread because there's literally this dude that's like, make these glow in the dark worms or whatever, and like it always starts with like a Monster energy drink, and it's the most random thing. It's never a Red Bull. It's never like a Rockstar or a Pimp Juice, or the hell these things are called. They are. Yeah. It's always a Monster, and it just cracks me up.
Yeah.
No, well, I was like when someone's talking to me and asking me questions about being sober while they're sucking away at a Rockstar energy drink. It's like, you're fucking ingesting worse shit than I did. At least my drugs were clean.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have to think that a mug of vodka would have to be better for you than like 4 Red Bulls.
Will's drinking red Kool-Aid right now. Actually,
Well,
Great drink.
you know, I'm all Canadian up, man. Like it's just juice. It's beef.
what is that? What is that? A Midtown Toronto fucking
Yeah,
grip?
totally.
Hey, we've got
totally
this
Midtown
cold pressed
Toronto.
shit. It's only going to cost you $19 a bottle.
Exactly. It was $17, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's like down in Riverside. I'm just southeast of you, and like all the fucking shishi neighborhoods in Toronto sell you all kinds of good fucking juice. It's going to run you more than Starbucks.
I don't think that,
What's that?
my chemistry, my body chemistry is good with caffeine at all. Like if I drink pop, I've never, as Bill knows, never had an energy drink, never tasted an energy drink. I do not like caffeine. Doesn't work for my body. I'm naturally just sort of high on life, if you will, and heroin, and caffeine from coffee, I think would mess me up. Hey, well, listen, what also is it about? Because as Bill will say, and I don't want to get too personal here, maybe this is a man thing, but there's something with men that are just like, oh, second cup of coffee. This keeps me regular. I'll be back in 15. Like,
I don't need that.
Is there something that like coffee makes you? Does it make you go to the bathroom? Does it loosen you up? What?
Are we really going down this road with coffee? Just take
I
a
just want to know. Like, listen, F coffee and F energy drinks. So, talk to me. Like, what is it about coffee that's so appealing? You say it's just the caffeine. Is that
Well,
it?
it's the routine. I like the taste. I guess some people might require it to be regular. Like I said, I like the nostalgia associated with it because I have so many different memories associated with coffee, much like you do with mozzarella sticks, for instance. And like I said, for all those reasons, like I really enjoy coffee. It's just like it's part of my routine. And like I said, if I don't drink coffee, and this is the shitty part, I get a wicked headache, like a really bad headache. Like I've had those caffeine DTs for a couple days before, and they're not pleasant. And the crazy thing is, I never even had caffeine, and I literally did not have any caffeine for like 4 years of my life, prior or more, 4 or 5 years of my life. Everything I drank was caffeine free, and then I started drinking the coffee, and now I have a wicked addiction to coffee.
You must drink a lot. I only make a press, but like Bill said, I like getting up. Like once I get up in the morning and I do some things, and I boil the water and like get the press ready and do that stuff. I like that. But when I started, I didn't really start drinking a lot. Like I drank coffee in college, and I think I probably drank more of it after, about 25 years ago when I sobered out, because what else am I going to drink? But I started as like I started as a typical Canadian like double coffee drinker, right? And that's the way you order it, right? 2 cream and 2 sugar. And then I just started whittling stuff out. Like I got the sugar out of it, and then I took the cream out of it eventually, and just drank it black. And I actually found that the more I drank it black, you could really disseminate between a good and a bad roast. Right? Like if something is done well, you can taste it in the coffee, and you can really tell if the coffee's crap by drinking it in its purest form. So I do like it, but I'm also, I can't drink it. Like I will sometimes, right? It depends if you're on the road or whatever you're doing. But I'd say the majority of my time, I really don't touch it after lunchtime. I can't.
I don't either.
If I drink it past a certain point and it's still in the middle of the workday, I kind of feel gross. So I kind of keep it to one press.
Also, like I know people who have it at dinner and then they complain about how they can't sleep at night.
Right.
Yeah. Like it does seem like coffee to me. Bill had said it's medicine. I'm going to change that. It sounds like it's a drug.
It's a drug. No, it's a drug. I'll freely admit it. It's caffeine is a drug.
So sugar.
But let me ask Will, because I know Joe won't want to answer this. But I mean, have you tried things that are like not Folgers? Because I think that's a key difference, right? Is that I can't drink shit coffee. I just can't. I don't like it. It's not good to me. It doesn't taste good. It never tastes good.
Yeah, no, I've tried the Starbucks. I've tried different. So instead of hot, I've tried nitro or cold brew?
Yeah.
Like
That's the good stuff.
still not like it.
Nitro, don't you badmouth nitro cold brew, right?
I'm not bad mouthing anything.
It tastes
like
like
you were
Guinness.
going there though.
what is nitro and what is cold brew? Like, and Bill's
nitrogen infused cold brew coffee, so it pours like a stout.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they infuse, like they just take cold coffee and they hook it up to a nitrogen infusion. And it
Brent's
pours like
talking
stout.
about
Like,
press. I don't know what press is either.
It's
I can imagine you have beans.
that's a press.
French press.
Coffee press.
Okay,
It's like when they take cheese and they squish it flat, they press it flat to make American cheese, Joe. Press.
I always thought it was made in the lab, Brent.
No, listen. Okay, you have coffee beans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you grind them up and you put really hot water in it and it makes coffee. What do you mean press? Do you press beans into something?
Yeah, so here we will demonstrate.
Yeah.
So you fill this full of hot water, okay?
No, you put your grounds in first.
Yeah, well, you make this hot water, then you add the grounds, and then or
You're doing it all wrong.
Add the grounds and then add hot water, whatever you want to do. And then when it's done brewing, after about 3 to 4 minutes, you just push this down, and it pushes all the grounds to the bottom.
Keep the grounds on the bottom and filters the water up through.
Here,
so you drink the.
And they have this divine deliciousness on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of work.
And then you drink it like Trump.
So
that's for our buddy Larry Bruce.
Yeah. So okay. So you had mentioned nitro. You had mentioned cold brew. I don't understand all the different. And if somebody like Gary May just said cold brew brew rocks. I just don't understand. Like, yeah, can I get a half calf, double decaf, 2 shots of this, and a iced latte mocha with a
that's all calories and sugar and crap, right? Like I drink more coffee because and I'll back it up. So the reason why I drank more coffee and why I went to black coffee is when you're a like a sober person, you know, you only have so many options, right? And soda and energy drinks and all that stuff are, you know, there's a lot of people that I know that are sober people that drink a lot of soda, like a ton of it, or energy drinks and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? I'll have the odd, you know, root beer or ginger ale, like every blue moon with something. But I went to black coffee to stay away from like I already ingest enough sugar and crap anyway. So I'm just trying to, anything I can do that's not in liquid form that's full of that stuff, I just try to cut it out. So that's one of the other reasons why I do, I'll do coffee over the other things, because you know, I drink a Coca-Cola and I feel insane. Mm-hmm. You know,
that's what he had before he put that shirt on. I mean, he's like, ah!
This is regular mood. If I drink a Coca-Cola,
he's naked.
Exactly.
So Will, what do you drink? You held up a thing of pomegranate, beet, purple drink.
I drink a shit ton of water, and I drink too much Coke Zero or Diet Dr. Pepper. Like, I'll have 1 or 2 of those a day.
There it is.
Like at dinner.
Really?
So, like,
no, Dr. Pepper's got caffeine in it, doesn't it?
Like, I'll drink a Coke Zero for dinner. Like,
you drink a Coke Zero for dinner? That's all you'll eat?
No, like with dinner. Like if I'm not.
First of all,
you're like a fitness nut though. Like how you still drink.
So I used to be really big, and I drink a lot of regular soda. No, thankfully not. Thankfully not.
I don't think you were like that big.
I was 265 pounds.
Oh shit! Wow. I guess so. You hit it well.
22. Yeah. But I
Will's
drink
like
regular
5'2", too.
So
5'2" viewers and 265. Put that in perspective.
Yeah, I'm 5'10" in the program, Bill. 5'10" in the program.
What's in the program?
No, I drink regular soda and I switched to diet soda, and I'm down to 1 diet soda a day.
So Coke Zero, Coke Zero's got 45 milligrams of caffeine. Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper is 41 milligrams.
There you go. So I drink probably 1 a day. So I understand the headaches, Bill, because when I stopped drinking those Rockstar's cold turkey, like, I don't know how much caffeine's in that, but like there was a miserable 2 weeks for sure.
Sugar on those though, that's the crazy thing, is how much sugar in those drinks. It's bananas.
Like. Yeah, well, so Bill and I have that video that we got known for, the de-evolution, where one guy, a regular internet sales manager over the course of 10 years in his life, he wakes up and he's surrounded by Red Bull cans. And I said, we're going to have to go out and buy some Red Bull. He's like, I got this. and he walks in with a box of Red Bull cans. And I'm like, Jesus, how long did it take you to collect those? He's like, man, this is from like the last 5 days. You know, I'm like,
That's insane.
yeah. No, Bill, when we're together, you are at least one coffee, and would you say 2 Red Bulls a day minimum?
No, well, if I'm in Vegas, for sure, because my body clock gets royally fucked up when I'm on the Pacific Coast at times. So like I have to really medicate myself. But I'm typically a one.
That's why you're getting all the headaches, man.
Yeah, no, I have like 1 Red Bull a week at the most, and then black coffee the rest of the days. Because like I use it very strategically. So if I know I have a lot of stuff going on and I have to focus and have to concentrate, I'll drink the Red Bull because it's got it's actually like glucose in it, like legit.
So, yeah, and it says so on average. So we were looking at the sodas that Will drinks, and they're, what did we say, 45, like
41.
Yeah, 45.
And
Yeah.
black coffee. So black coffee on average is 95 milligrams of caffeine, and then a Monster energy drink is 86.4.
Oh wow.
So almost like a black cup of coffee, but then they've got all the sugar and all the other, like it
It's
depends
the
on
sugar.
Taurine and all these things you can't pronounce.
Does tea have caffeine in it?
Oh yeah.
Is that an orange pico tea?
No, this is jasmine.
Oh, no. It just comes with a nice bonnet to drink it with.
Yeah. No, listen. Well, Brent, as you know,
You going to a cotillion after this?
you know, when Brent and I go to Vegas, he and I go to a Chinese place that we found. And the one thing I always get when I go to Chinese restaurants is I'll get my own thing of tea, and I'll kick through some tea.
I always go for the oolong.
The Happy House. They got good tea there.
I have tea.
That's caffeinated, though, the tea they serve there.
Yeah, I have tea once a week, and it's literally 1 cup, and it's for the show. If we weren't doing the show, no tea. I drink water, and I drink alcohol very rarely or occasionally. But I will probably nowadays, and this broke me because way back when I was in retail, I probably started having 1 Diet Coke maybe a week or once every 2 weeks. And I literally think it changes your body chemistry just to have like 1 diet soda, and it was once every 2 weeks. Like I will still probably have 1 a month, and I will occasionally have an orange juice or an apple juice or something like that, or cranberry juice. But for the most part, I am just water. Just water. It's probably one of the few healthy habits I have.
I'm still hung up on Will drinking shit tons of water. Are those now metric shit tons now that you're in Canada?
It's the new metric up here.
I'm still trying to balance the metric. I still go Fahrenheit and Celsius. It's a struggle. Struggle is real.
Brent's math said it was like 110 last week in Fahrenheit, but I think his math was wrong.
So
no, it's double it. Doing a Celsius to Fahrenheit, it's double it and add 30 because we're always lower. So if it's 20 degrees, the closest way to do it with a simple math is double it and add 30. So it's off by maybe 1 or 2 degrees.
I believe him. I don't know. I'm a stupid American.
I learned that on a Bob and Doug McKenzie album, so take it for what you will, but it's pretty close.
So Bill, what is the most unhealthy thing you drink?
Most unhealthy thing I drink? How do you define unhealthy?
I don't know. How do you define it?
Booze. Not as bad as urine.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's probably alcohol.
Sterile.
But I drink alcohol sparingly compared to most people. Like I'd probably have I'd say an average 2 drinks a month, a little bit more since COVID hit. But
so I mean, when you say sparingly, between the on the scale of Brent Wees to Arnold Tiarina, how much do you drink?
I'm way closer to Brent Wees. I'm touching Brent in that scale. Okay, so.
What about you? What is the most unhealthy thing? Is it your Diet Dr. Pepper? And Will, so you know, he's not a real doctor.
I know. I'm aware. I would say, like,
why are you so serious, Will? Come on.
Listen, did you put up the Beatles one album behind you? Just be like, hey, this is the most non-upsetting album that anybody can have. Like, no one can really hate. Like, Beatles one. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, you really make
it was well, I'm in a shared space, and it was a gift for Jen, and She put those up there.
What's the album next to it?
Billie Holiday.
Okay, I'll accept that.
And then next one, it's Nevermind the Bollocks by the
Holiday in Cambodia. Kennedy's.
I would say alcohol as well to answer your question, Joe. Probably out.
What's your
diet
go-to?
soda is unhealthy, but I agree with you. That's why I'm trying to quit diet soda because I understand like it probably does some shit to my body, like especially like Coke Zero. Yeah, like I need to quit that.
So what is Coke Zero? Because again, I don't drink pop, and I
Coke
pop
with a zero on the can.
It tastes better than Diet Coke. That's about it.
But what is it? Is it 0 calories, 0 caffeine?
Yeah.
Like what is it?
Yeah, 0 sugar, 0 calories.
So what do they put in instead?
Brown fizzy water.
What is aspartame? What is the really bad thing in Diet Coke?
Aspartame.
Is there aspartame in Coke Zero?
I'm pretty sure there is.
Great, good for you. Yeah.
Well, Brent's probably the healthiest drinker here. What's the most unhealthy thing you drink, Brent, besides city water?
Nothing wrong with tap water. Tap water's perfect.
Listen, tap water, I believe, is the reason that we didn't have many dental problems when we were kids.
Bingo.
Now everyone's drinking filtered water and bottled water, and it takes out all of the fluoride. And our teeth are just brittle little pieces of crap because no one's willing to drink tap water anymore.
The most unhealthy thing I drink is probably a Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Is it really a drink?
Well, if you let it melt.
It's more of a cake. It's more of a cake.
It's an ice cream cake. No, probably the odd soda for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's boring. Sorry, but I don't know what else.
Listen. Between and here's my terrible thinking. Between a vodka tonic or a vodka soda versus a large root beer, I would assume a large root beer is worse for you.
Don't you badmouth root beer?
No. Okay, here, Coke, Sprite, anything.
Sure.
Short of ginger ale, which rarely is made with.
I don't know, dude. I think it's relative, right? Because you could drink a whole can of Coke or something and drive yourself home, and you could have a couple of vodka tonics, do the same thing, and fucking
drive it around.
Yeah.
I'm saying sitting at home.
Beat your kids, Joe.
I'm saying sitting at home. Beat. That's not my bag.
You get enough vodka tonics in you, you can do anything you want.
You can fly, I've heard.
You're thinking about cocaine.
Trust me. You get enough alcohol in you, you can do anything.
You're thinking about cocaine. That'll make you invincible.
You don't want to sleep.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's called crank. So anyway, I will say that I guess if you're just sitting at home doing nothing, I just feel that a couple vodka tonics wouldn't be as unhealthy as a couple Diet Cokes. Just
everything in moderation, Joe. Like cheese.
I would agree.
Well, I mean, and not cheese exactly. And you guys know my mozzarella cheese stick story, so that is a real legit story that Bill knows about. Why I have a love affair with mozzarella cheese sticks. It hasn't done me any favors health-wise, but it is something nostalgic. Just like Bill says, he doesn't like routines, but he does like the routine of drinking coffee, even though it's a different coffee every day. But he goes to the same place, have different flavors of coffee because it all tastes the same. But whatever. So I will say. I'm still trying to understand. How much would you say you spend on coffee every single year, Bill?
Well, since I typically do all the accounting, it's in the low 4-digit range, which has really been nice since of quarantine because I have not been spending any of that money.
Brent, you do your own press, which still means I guess you don't go out and ever buy coffee, right?
I rarely do. I'll load up my Starbucks app with $20 or $25 a month because Maggie, likes the, iced whatever bullshit. So, we go to Starbucks and I'll get like a nitro, but yeah, $20 or $25 a month outside. And we'll spend, Lisa and I, because we've got this machine, like we got a built into the wall. We've got a coffee maker. You guys saw it, right? So we had this built into the wall. We just load it with beans and it does all the work. We'll probably spend $25 a month on like on good good beans, anywhere from $25 to $50 a month.
So you're $600 to $700 or so a year.
Maybe a year tops.
Bill's $2,000.
No. Like I said, I got to qualify it though, because I typically when I go, I'll get something for my wife and I, and then sometime we'll get something for the kids, and we'll get a scone. So it's like it's a little bit more, but
Those
yeah.
petite vanilla bean scones, that's what you're getting, aren't you?
Dude, shut the fuck up. Though that's like it's like my go-to. I'm like, I'll take a half dozen of those, and
And they're like, I love them too,
lemon
but
loaf.
they're like 130 calories a pop, and
whatever.
They give you 3 for $1, and you just add 600 calories.
Skip lunch. Totally worth it.
So so Will doesn't drink coffee. I mean, so okay, let's say $1,200, $1,400 on coffee for you, Bill. How much on energy drinks?
Probably not nearly that much. Let's see. Probably that's a couple $100 a year, maybe.
See, that's interesting. I mean, like the only thing is, I mean, once you have a refrigerator that spits out filtered water, then you really rarely have to go buy water. But on the road, I buy tons and tons. Like Bill and I, when we're traveling, we'll stop at a grocery store and we will load up. And the one thing we load up on is like,
water.
I will buy like a 12-pack of large Smart Waters, and he will get like a 12-pack of Avion or something like that. And we will just
a couple liters.
It doesn't matter.
Easy.
It is Evian, but it's
Whatever.
I come out looking like the bourgeoisie guy here after this whole thing. How'd that happen?
No.
How much water do you drink, Joe? Like a day?
I drink I never stop drinking water. So even though you see this here, this is here. So I mean, I go through probably. So I've measured I had a nap where it based on my body measurements or all those things. It said I was supposed to drink, I think it was just under 2 gallons a day, and I did my best to reach. It was like 1.75, something like that, and I did my best to reach it. And I will easily do a gallon a day without question.
One kidney though, like.
Yeah, 1 kidney. Yeah.
Yeah, that fucker must be like this big. It's like it's.
So I easily do a gallon of water every single day probably without trying. But I will say for some reason to get that 1.75, I had to actively try. Like I bought the Bluetooth thing that sends me alerts and shakes and vibrates every time I've got to drink it. And I was just finding myself drinking, but you pee like a racehorse on Lasix. Like it just does not stop.
Racehorse on Lasix.
It just does not stop. It's like every 15, 20 minutes, you're like, hold on, I gotta go. Okay, it's off. Give me 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it was problematic. But
that's funny. I drink water when I'm thirsty. So it's.
I just love water.
No Bluetooth needed. I have to buy our water because our water is toxic from our well. So it's.
Is that because of Michigan? Is that still going on?
No, well, that's Flint city water. But no, like our groundwater is not good here, so I have to buy it. So
don't you run it through a softener though, and then just filter, like get some Brita filters in the fridge? That's what we used to do living in the country. It's
like overwhelming. It's just so hard that it's just so much more convenient to buy tanks of water. It's a minuscule expense to have good. Because I like to drink a lot of water too, so. I don't have a Bluetooth device to tell me when I'm thirsty, but
no. It doesn't tell you when you're thirsty. It tells you when it forces you to drink.
Okay. So I at least drink a good solid 32 ounces of water minimum a day.
Your body will do that when you're dehydrated too.
Yeah, it's funny when your pee turns brown. That's
exactly
water.
If your urine's brownish, then you're in trouble.
What color is it supposed to be?
It's supposed to be wheat color. Color wheat. Huh? Hey, Bill.
It's funny that Brent and I both know that, which is scary.
That's right.
So let's go back to coffee. So one of the things that does piss me off.
You're in coffee.
Yeah. But one thing that does really piss me off about coffee, and I want to get back to this, are these like double blah, 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 half calf, no whip, with whip, hydro nitrogen, it's got like 17 different things. There's like a half an ounce of coffee and then just shit on top of it. Like, that does drive me crazy. People are like, oh, I love my coffee. I just have to have my coffee. And it's like 90% other stuff.
The only thing you should put in a black coffee is just an extra shot of espresso. Leave it at that.
Red eye, nice.
Exactly,
Yeah.
red eye that shit up.
And so that's one of the hard things of actually working at Starbucks is that people would have these totally like just off the wall orders that they'd put in. You're like, listen, if you need like a quadratic equation to explain your coffee order, just like go get a pop because it's it's
if you're doing 5 pumps of a flavor in something, you got to reassess your life choices.
Exactly.
What type of flavors can you add to it?
Well, name it, right? Vanilla and caramel and
Skittles?
fuck, sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Pepperoni pizza, taco, lasagna.
But the thing in Canada, though, is what you want to do next time you're in Canada, you guys, is go to a Tim Hortons and just listen to people order, because Tim Hortons roast their coffee to be drank double, 2 creams and 2 sugars. They roast it that way so it tastes best that way, because they, in their market research, they realized that most of their buying public ordered their coffee that way.
Strong.
They made a dark roast because the roast was so bad black that no one would touch it. McDonald's came out with a better roast, so everyone was going to McDonald's to buy their coffee. So Tim Hortons brought in a dark roast. But I've sat in Tim Hortons just to listen to people order like a medium coffee with 4 cream and 4 sugar in it, or like insane amounts of stuff in the smallest cup of coffee. It's amazing to watch. Like to dump that much stuff into a very small cup of coffee is like unbelievable. But Tim Hortons in Canada is where that magic happens.
Also home of the Timbits.
And
Yeah,
even Ty at 9 knows what my son knows what Tim Hortons is, because he has this song, this YouTube song.
He has a thong?
He has a song called I'm Canadian, and it's like 5 verses, and he knows the whole thing by heart. And it's really funny because it's almost like if Brent were to sing a song, but it's coming from like my 9-year-old kid. I was driving past Home Depot, packed, Florida, and there must have been 18 people in line on a Saturday at 11 a.m. for Dunkin' Donuts. And I submit to you, I don't think they're getting donuts. I think they're getting coffee.
No,
just the amount of people that like will wait.
It's a New England thing, right?
What's that?
That's a New England thing.
Well, they all go to Florida
like
when they're about to die. When they're about to die, they'll go to Florida. And so
Dunkies in Boston and stuff.
I just don't understand people like they're. This is why coffee's stupid. That you need it, like you almost crave it psychologically. It costs to buy at most places more than bottled water does,
Alcohol.
which is again stupid, and maybe more than alcohol. You order it so ridiculously special that you think it's your own special order. The amount of time you're willing to wait, the amount of time you're willing to go out of your way to order from someplace special, it just seems that it is not worth the trouble, because what I had read is regular coffee drinking does lower your good cholesterol and raise your bad cholesterol.
No, not black coffee.
Well, maybe not black coffee, but it did say the majority.
But you're talking about something, you can apply the same thing to booze, though. You could apply the exact same thing to alcohol.
Well, yeah.
Will, you're gonna go order a drink. Time out. Will's gonna go order a drink. What's your drink, Will?
My drink?
Yeah, when you're at a bar, you order. Yeah, when you order a drink,
a bourbon.
But hold on, what kind of bourbon? Like if you're at a bar, though, do you ask for a specific kind of bourbon, or you just?
Oh yeah, no, I go top shelf.
So right, so but you do the same, Joe. If you're at a bar, you walk into a bar and you want a vodka tonic. Are you drinking Well vodka, or are you ordering a specific?
Tito's.
So there you go. So you can't fucking say that coffee is any different, because booze is the same. People will go to line up at a fucking bar, just like someone will go line up at a Starbucks for a drink and go, I don't want well liquor. I want a fucking Tito's, or I want.
No. Here's where it ends. I don't go to a bar and be like, yeah, can I get Tito's and tonic? No Tito's here. I'll be like, okay, I guess I'll try something. I'll do something else. I don't be like, well, wait a second. This is not acceptable to me. I'm gonna have to go find a place.
What I'm saying though is that most people that drink alcohol, that are discerning about what they drink, be it wine, be it bourbon, be it vodkas and stuff, they have a type and an order that they like and they stick to, right? It's just like people who drink coffee. It's no fucking different.
Yeah, well, so
people need alcohol just like people need coffee.
But I was gonna say, being a former alcoholic, you can tell me, because I don't crave alcohol.
Sure, everybody does.
What's that?
Everybody does. If you drink if you drink it, you're wired because you'll have a day where you're like, fuck, that was an awful day. I'm gonna have a fucking drink.
Usually I don't have that. I just be like, it's more of a.
I'm gonna go blow off some steam. Trust me, dude. It's if you drink alcohol, even socially, like and good, like people that can drink socially, great. But I still think people associate what they drink, and God love them, the social drinkers, because I wasn't one, right? But I'm just saying that alcohol is the same as coffee. People treat it the same way. Like I have a press in the morning. Lisa has a glass of wine at night.
It's the same as Pepsi versus Coke, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah. You just don't
I'm
understand.
I'm just saying that people put a cocktail in their day, just like they put a cup of coffee in their day, and it may just be one cocktail, right?
I want to counter argument though with something else too, because I don't waste a tremendous amount of time. I drop off my kids. I have a Starbucks app. I hit order. All my stuff's there. I hit the order it, and then
order.
I walk out. It's a mobile order. So it's like literally maybe an extra 3 minutes out of my day to do that.
To Joe's point, Duncan doesn't have that in Florida, I guess.
Florida.
The Starbucks mobile thing, that's talk. I would love to see the stats on the amount of coffee they push out now when people can go and grab, like you'll see the mobile orders, there's 20 deep there, and then there's a line of 25 people. Like, I've
seen friends of mine that are heavy app users. To Will's point, I've seen friends of mine that are heavy app users like post their monthly stats of what they've spent. Like a buddy of mine, my friend Russ in California, like 1 year, like posted his stats from his app, and he's like, "Thanks Starbucks for reminding me I've spent this much on your product this year." Like it's staggering, right?
But you get free drinks. There's rewards. Like I have like.
You get badges. You get badges.
You get stickers.
They gamified
for drinking all the coffee.
It's a hat.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to
all the apps have just put us back into third grade with our fucking stickers and our awards.
Exactly.
Or Foursquare.
Way to go, everybody.
10 years
quick shout out to Susan Milch for joining. We have a Milch on the call.
Oh, did Susan come? Because Eric's not here.
Susan's on, so Eric's not here. So I want to just mention that she was able to join, which we appreciate.
Whoa. If Eric's not here, who's this other bald guy?
Yeah.
So what I was saying is I was not trying to say alcohol is
yes, you were.
or a smarter choice or anything.
Yeah, you were.
What I'm saying is I think it's the way that I consume the products. Whereas I rarely drink alcohol. And when I do, I do. But there are people I don't think rarely. When I say. I don't think they drink coffee like I drink alcohol. I don't think it's like, hey, once a month I'll go and get a coffee. I think it's if you drink coffee.
I mean, if you drink alcohol like a coffee drinker drinks coffee, then you are an alcoholic.
Yeah, you're trading one drug for another, or just doubling down.
Well, but in a way though, Will, you can't say that because if someone's a 1 cup of coffee a day, like I know people that have 1 coffee, like they start the morning with 1 coffee, and I know people have a glass of wine at the end of their day. If that's all they're doing, but if you drink it, if you're drinking coffee, like, you're making a press in the morning. And
I was going to say, I know most of the coffee drinkers I know are like you guys that drink 7 cups of coffee or 4, depending on how deep your pour is out of that.
Right.
No,
I have really small hands. I have Donald Trump hands, Will. This is actually just a 4-ounce mug.
But also to Will's point though, if you're drinking coffee all day long and you drink alcohol like you drink coffee, then I can take you to a meeting.
So I have one drink.
Lots of free coffee at the meeting. It tastes like shit, but it's good.
But I think there is a nice little sort of analogy here, because I think there's a lot of people out there. You get your one wine a night people who claim that they're not alcoholics. You get the guys who drink the 1 or 2 beers a day alcoholics. Like there is something to that habit. I think part of it is like that's just part of your routine. Like we're all saying, like it's kind of part of our morning routine. You get up, make a cup of coffee. I love the smell of coffee. It's like
I put my press bill into this thermos so it doesn't.
There you go.
Can you only make it with a press?
No, I have a machine.
I'm not a fucking savage, Webb.
Like what's? I don't know.
You're making Mr. Coffee machine? Go fuck yourself.
You only refer to it as a press. Like
he owns stock in the company. It's like his version of Remsbeer or whatever. So
I've got my press here in my the East Side studio, and we've got Lisa's fancy machine in downtown. So yeah.
So
Alan Cooper says Starbucks isn't real coffee, by the way.
Who said that?
Brilliant.
Alan
What is
Cooper.
Alan
he comes
Cooper.
To a place, he comes
He
to a
drinks
place
kangaroo
that
coffee.
reverse. Okay, like he doesn't notice.
They press kangaroos with French presses and drink
Exactly.
it.
They're Aussie presses there. No, French press is good though. It puts more stuff in it. There's more tannins and stuff.
All right, so the French press has gotten very popular in the last few years. Obviously, evidence, but like, so is it just to get the beans and like, do you grind the beans in a French press?
So for press, when you go, so if you buy your beans, you can tell them if they grind them for you where you buy them. They'll ask you, what kind of machine are you using? So they'll grind them for press. And you'll get more flavor out of it if the beans are ground the right way. Like you could say, I just have a drip coffee maker, right? Yeah. They'll grind them for a drip coffee maker, but a press grind is a little bit different, and you'll just get more it'll be more robust. That's all.
So, but can you go in and you say if they grind it the right way? Can you say, like, well, this is how I take my coffee, and I'm going to need my grounds quarter ground, sliced thin. Like, do you have the?
No, it's not like when you buy cheese. It's just.
Okay, I didn't know.
It's just you can say I use French press. I need them ground for French press. That's it, Joe. It's simple.
So it's just one way. If it's a French press ground, there's only one way to grind it.
Or you could say I have a. You could say I use a.
Or cone. Like you have a cone.
Yeah, on top, right? Drip.
Yeah, you tell them like there's a Turkish grind, there's an Italian grind. Like it just depends on what kind of device you're going to use. Like
they usually just the baristas or whatever, wherever you're buying your beans, just ask you what kind of machine you're using or what you're using.
Well, I'm not going to start up, but I remember going down to New Orleans with Gilbert Chavez and Tim Klaus, and Tim Klaus was big on you got to have a chicory coffee. And we got to go to Cafe
Du Monde,
get a chicory coffee. Like, is that different than anything else? Like
chicory coffee's a bit different, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But it's only that area, the country, right, that uses chicory still. But it's kind of badass coffee, Cafe du Monde. I don't know. Chicory used to be a big thing in all the instant coffees for a long time, but I haven't had chicory in coffee other than New Orleans.
So in regard to what's the best coffee you've ever had? And then related to like a Sanka.
What? Related to a Sanka?
Well, no. Like if Sanka is the worst, right?
Brim.
Instant coffee is the worst from what I hear. What's the best coffee you've had?
I'm gonna say. I got two. I got the Senator restaurant in Toronto always had like just amazing coffee, like just absolute dynamite coffee. I don't know, like back in the day when it was like the place to go and sit at the counter and eat breakfast, like they had really nice coffee. And then I had, it's actually in Portugal a couple summers ago, and I just had an Americano there one afternoon, and it was like when you're just kind of, your whole body clock is you're way off and you're totally gassed. But they made me this Americano at the hotel. It was just served it with a couple of little biscuits with half dipped in chocolate. It was perfect. That was probably the best I ever had.
That sounds delightful.
Will,
what's the best? It was very very nice.
Bill, you don't drink coffee, so but what's the best Diet Dr. Pepper you've ever had?
Right in Waco, Texas. It was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. I was at a Whataburger circa 2007.
Yeah, I don't have it's funny to watch that story. It's just like coffee drinkers, they also it's I don't think it's the drink, Joe. I think what we discovered in this last hour is the experience. Yeah. Coffee drinkers look at Mr. Playford just pressing his beans every morning. He's looking out on his farm.
Brent likes these motions a lot. Just working that press every morning. Just
whatever it is, it's an experience. I don't have an experience with pop. Sorry.
No, listen, it is funny because Bill says you pour the water in here and Brent's like, no, and then you put the grounds in first. Like you can't put the grounds in first. Like, no, you got to. And Bill's like, I do water first. Like. They all have their own very specific way of doing things. I think is interesting.
I would say it's tough because there's a lot of good experience. I mean, like
You can just look in his eyes, Joe. Look in his eyes.
Yeah.
And watch the memories start rolling back as he thinks about the coffees he's drinking.
I would say I have two favorite, probably best coffee experiences. One is first time I went to London. I was studying abroad, and I was just there for a couple days. And then no.
Really, you had your best cup of coffee in London?
Well, this is so like what happened is before I went, I had a bunch of Starbucks freebies I had collected over the years of working there, and collected. I don't know how I got them, but I had them. So I had a whole pocket full of those things. So like I was so broke that I go to Starbucks and so I went to an awesome Starbucks in London, and so I just remember like having that, like I said, that taste of home. I've been in Europe for a couple weeks at that point in time, and so it was just good to kind of have that caramel macchiato, Joe, that just kind of brought back some memories. And so that was kind of good because like I said, I had no money that whole weekend, it seemed like. So I had enough money for like a hamburger. I didn't know how expensive London was when I went there. So it was nice to have that free drink. And then the other time I would say I went to I got invited to a Price Waterhouse conference in Detroit a couple years back. And it was in one of Dan Gilbert's many buildings in Detroit, but they had this awesome coffee shop in the bottom floor. And I looked at the menu, and it's like Brent said, like it's like Toronto expensive. Like I had one nitro cold brew coffee, and it was like, I forgot how much it cost for the bottle. It was a bottle of it, and it was like freaking $12 for this thing. I'm like, who the fuck would like? So I was so like wiped out after this conference. Unlike a regular automotive conference, you go to like a PwC Deloitte conference, it's like when you're done. So I got this, I spent the money, and I gotta tell you, it took me 3 days to drink all the coffee in this thing. It was so powerful. I don't know what they used, they use like plutonium or something in it. I don't know. It was so powerful, but I remember like drinking this stuff thinking, holy crap. And it came like in this awesome, like blue, like apothecary bottle. You get like at an old drugstore or something like that. But I remember that coffee because it was just, I was thinking like, it's so expensive. Like why? And I drank like a third of it, and I was like, holy shit, I'm invisible.
I like that you said it's an old apothecary bottle from an old drugstore rather than an apothecary bottle from an apothecary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but anyhow, well, some people may not know what those are. So like a haberdashery.
It's like when apothecaries made the transition to being more legitimate.
Exactly. So, when I made the transition from bodega to apothecary. But no, like those are my two kind of favorite coffee. And like I said, it was good coffee, but it was the experience as well that made it good.
Yeah. So, as I said, I don't have any references to that other than like doing a shot of whatever's in the spark plug with Jerry Tebow. I've done a shot of that.
I was there when you had that. It seems like, weren't we in that? Yeah.
But beyond that, like I still like I chug water like it's my job, and I remember one time I called my sister, and she says like she's out of breath, and anybody who drinks a lot of water knows this, and I'm like, hey Lynn, she's like, hey, I said, oh my God, are you okay? What's the matter? You're out of breath, and she's like, just drank a lot of cold water. And that's what you do. Like when water tastes so good, I don't understand the people that say water doesn't taste good. Water is the best tasting stuff when you need it. There's nothing in the world better than a cold glass of water. And if you go start slamming water over and over cold water, you almost can't catch your breath. You come up here, you're like, it's that good.
So Joe, I only drink ice water. Are you the same? Like I can't do room temperature. It's got to be ice cold.
Room temp is the way to go. It's absorbed fast in your body. It's absorbed fast in your body.
I can drink room temperature. I prefer ice water.
No, my wife thinks I'm a monster because I don't like cold water. I drink it room temp.
My father is sort of the same way in the fact that he only drinks warm room temperature water or whatever. But water absolutely has flavor. You know how you tell water has flavor? Drink like an Evian versus a Dasani.
Dasani's sweet. I don't know what Coke does to Dasani,
but
it's
the
same pipes.
Gulping out of toilets, And what's the other one? Aquafina? Trash. Like Fiji is a decent water.
So We talked about Pepsi versus Coke. The one shitty thing about Detroit's airport is the fact that they only do Pepsi products, and Aquafina is the only water you can buy there. It's
Trash.
the worst. Trash.
Well, I think that if you go to, I mean, it depends what terminal you're in. If the North Terminal, like the Hudson News Company, they have like Evian or Fiji, but it's like $10 for a liter of it. You know? It's like Vegas prices, so it's such a ripoff.
Right, an emergency call there, I had to jump.
But either way, like I said, for people who are watching this and they you know, thank you for
all
being,
4 of you.
Yeah, all 4 of you and Joe's mom. If you don't like coffee, I really encourage you guys to try stuff that's not like instant coffee or stuff that you might have had at your grandparents. I think that's
or
a lot.
Hampton Inn coffee.
What'd you say?
Or a Hampton Inn coffee. You don't want
exactly. If that's your high water mark, I think you got to try. It's sort of like people have said, like, well, I hate this kind of wine, or I hate this kind of drink, or I hate this kind of soda, like whatever.
What is a good introduction to coffee? Is it the sweet? Is it the double? Is it the like sweeter caramel macchiato? Is that a good entry point for a non-coffee?
I think that's the gateway drug. I think that's a great question. So I think that having like a double or something like that is probably a good way to try to get a chance for it. But I have to go
take a coffee with one, like milk and sugar in it, right? Just a straight old black coffee with like one sugar and 1 cream, like 1 serving of cream and sugar in it. It's probably
a lot of people can't do black coffee, like they're hardcore coffee drinkers, but they gotta have all
because they're wusses.
Yeah. But it's like
Brett's a real man.
Look at me in my checkered shirt, being all manly.
But I like I said, I like black coffee, but that's why I like different varieties of coffee as well, because I'll mix it up. Sometimes it'll be Hawaiian coffee, sometimes it'll be an African coffee, sometimes it'll be an Indonesian coffee. Like I like those different flavors.
It really is a small world after all, too, when it comes to coffee.
It is. But I think I think having like a coffee with just cream and sugar is a good like sort of gateway into it. But you have to have good quality coffee, good water. You know, if you have shitty chlorine tap water and coffee, it's going to taste terrible. So, you know, that's also a big part of it. So I think if you have good water and you have good coffee and
who's pumping pool water through the pipes of Michigan right now, Bill?
You've never had chlorine. Like go to like Dallas, Fort Worth. It's like drinking pool water. Any of the places I've ever been there, it's horrible. Especially when I lived there, I could not drink the water.
I had to say though, Bill, I had to jump. Sorry, my phone lit up and it was an emergency. I knew it was an emergency call. I had to bounce. But you were talking about you had your best cup of coffee in London, England. But was it at a Starbucks?
Yeah.
See, because I was going to say one of the worst cups of coffee I ever had was getting off the plane in England, in London, a couple of years ago. I had to speak at this thing, and I got off the overnight, I wasn't at Heathrow, I was at, what's the other one?
Gatwick?
Gatwick. I got off at Gatwick, and there's this barista bar, like right as soon as I get out of the gate, and I was like, awesome, I'm going to get an Americano. Like I had airplane coffee, which is terrible. So I get off and I'm going to have this good coffee. It was the worst fucking cup of coffee I ever had. It took me 4 days to recover from how bad that cup of coffee was until I found a Starbucks in England and had a cup of coffee there. It was fucking awful.
It was like a tooth fell out when he drank it. It was so bad.
Yeah, worse than Sanka. Yeah, all my teeth fell out, and I immediately got into a fight over a soccer game, a footy game.
So, but I think that's a lot of it, though. I think a lot of people who say they hate coffee is if they only just had Folgers or something like that. Like,
yeah, no, well, I mean, as I said, I haven't tasted that. I think the smell alone gets me so sick to my stomach. Like, if my wife started drinking coffee on the regular, I'd force her to move out. Like,
Vanessa, start drinking coffee on the regular.
I just can't.
Vina, there you go. There's
Vina, go for it. Let's see who holds out the longest.
She'll immediately respond, no, you can leave, is how she'll respond. But I just don't like the smell of coffee. Like, if the smell of coffee just permeated through the air at all times, it would get me so sick to my stomach, I just wouldn't be able to deal with it.
Really? I like the smell of coffee. I like the smell of coffee.
Well,
yeah, so like I said, Coop had commented the best he'd ever had was in Italy, so shout out to that travel there. Stan Scher says Lavazza is his favorite. So, but I think that's a lot of it too. Is like you have to understand that there's a lot more to it. It's sort of like I said, I'm Joe. You're curious. You asked the questions. Like it is a lot about like wine and spirits. Same thing. Like there's so much that actually goes into good coffee. Like so if you're just drinking, it's sort of like if you're drinking like Big K pop or Sam's Choice pop. Like you'd rather not.
Yeah.
You
Well, I guess it's like we were talking about with alcohol too, right? People have a preference on what they drink and how they drink it, right? Like you got what's behind you there, Bill? Like
I got some Russell's Reserve. I got some Elijah Craig. I got
right?
some Eagle
If
Rare.
Arnold was on this, he'd tell us that he drinks
Kool-Aid, some purple stuff. Oh, hey, Sunny D.
Yeah,
got a plastic jug. But it's the same thing, right? There's different places where like, vineyards and distillers that like do things and come out of things where, people have preferences, right? Lisa only drinks New Zealand white wine, right? Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough.
Is she from New Zealand?
No, it's just apparently like some of the best white wine comes out of that region, right? So some people just have preferences on, like when I did drink, and the one thing I didn't really abuse was red wine. I really always appreciated good red wine, but I loved California vineyards, right? Like I loved cabs out of California, or things out of Australia. But like I think everyone's got a preference to things they like, or like you said, or distillers, right? Like Arnold always like post pictures of Pappy or whatever. Like is that a bourbon?
Yeah.
It
comes from Buffalo Trace, same place that makes Eagle Rare. So it's but it's a little overblown. But like I said, I think that's a lot of that whole thing. What I say?
He said, "Well, what would be scary really quick is if the alcohol wasn't behind him, but he's like, well, let's see, I got this. Like if it was underneath the desk, that's when you know there's a problem.
Here's the thing, though. I'll tell you, as an ex-bartender, though, when some doucher would come in and be like really like in front of his people, I need a Stoli this, like I need this. I'd always serve them bar rail and never know the difference. Every time. Well, every time someone made a big deal about specifically having to have something, I served them bar rail and they never called it out.
Well, cracks me up.
Vodka's fucking potatoes. So let's get over ourselves with the Tito's and the gravy.
Yeah, I'd love some potatoes almost any way they make them.
Exactly. If they could ferment cheese and turn it into alcohol, Joe would drink it.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, I don't know if I'm running low on cheese, but I'll have to find out.
If they made like some sort of Doritos alcohol, that'd be
I'm not a snacking fan though. Like I eat my 3 square, but I don't like to snack and I don't drink coffee. Like I do have a few good habits, and one of them is I rarely snack. So here, guys, it has been a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate all the time.
It's been okay.
I'm not gonna try coffee, but I think I have more of a respect for it now. But like Bill hit it out of the park when he said it's like wine and how it's made, the terroir and all that. And now I think I understand a little better. I still don't understand the daily consumption of it and the sheer amount of money spent. And I don't understand the glorifying social media posts constantly showing how people need to.
People do it booze though. Same thing. Again, people
talk to me until I had my second cup of coffee, like those type of.
But people do the same thing with wine, and they do it with cocktails and social media as well. It's no different. Again,
I haven't seen anybody that says, "Don't talk to me until I've had my second Pabst Blue Ribbon of the day." But I see that about.
Well, they'll punch you in the face. That's why. I mean, if you're that person,
you're gonna fuck with someone who hasn't had enough PBR. That's on you.
It's gonna get real.
Yeah, fast.
But man, Will, I want to thank you so much for joining us, taking the place.
Thanks for having me.
Mutually good friend Eric. Far be it from me to say, I think you've delivered far more than Eric usually does.
Yeah, well,
way more
on average. For sure. So
exactly.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No, absolutely. With that, I will still say F coffee, F energy drinks, F most caffeine stuff, but I appreciate your guys' enjoyment.
Your guys'?
Your guys?
It's you guys.
For someone who bags on grammar as much as you do in punctuation. Your guys'?
Funny enough, and Will just said it, I almost started to say use, and I stopped myself, and then I'm like, am I going to have to end with y'all? And I stopped myself.
Y'all?
So I had to get
you can't deliver. You got y'all comes from here. It comes from down here.
From your groin?
Oh, shut up. Where are you from, Will?
It's from Baltimore.
New Mexico-ish.
From New Mexico.
Oh, okay. Then
West Texas.
You maybe can say that.
He's got to say y'all. Comes from your nuts.
Yeah, it comes from your groin area.
Yeah, it comes from your cowboy boots. Everybody knows that. Jesus.
Dude, Will wearing cowboy boots, I'd shove him down a flight of steps.
You'll never catch me in cowboy boots.
Never say never.
Cowboy boots.
I would be.
I should never say that word.
If Brent showed up in cowboy boots and a buckle and just like I wouldn't be shocked to see Brent in them, because it'd be just like a fashion statement.
Why not?
Yeah. If he were wearing shit kickers just on the regular, it wouldn't make sense. But if it were like for an ensemble, one of Brent's famous, like him and his bedazzled jean jackets and like, patchouli oil scent and his cowboy boots, I'd be like, no, this is Brent. Yeah. This is why we love Brent.
Or I can dress like Joe in my khakis and my fucking button downs. Yeah, well, though. I have a cowboy boot story though for Joe, and Joe, you'll like this. I was at the '88 Winter Olympics, and I was there.
How old? You're old.
I was Winter Olympics.
You're old.
I was 18 years old. I'm 51 years old, but I still have look at all the hair I have though, Will. Yeah. 51 years old. It's amazing. Jeez, there you go. It's incredible having this much hair at 51 though. It's flowing locks.
Back to your 88
so
Olympics
I was
story.
at the Calgary Olympics performing, and I was 18 years old, and the legal drinking age in Calgary at the time was 18. So at the Olympics one night after we performed for the day, we went out, and every night you went out with like different athletes and people were done competing, and you just partied the whole time. And in my drunkenness, I bought some cowboy boots on the main walkway. There's that street in Calgary where you can walk up and down. I don't know if it's 8th Avenue or whatever. But I bought myself some cowboy boots, put them on, and then tried to trade a Mountie for his boots later on that night. I tried to give a Mountie $20 and my cowboy boots for his Mountie boots. And I wouldn't let up. For 45 minutes, I fucking tried to talk this guy into giving me his boots.
Yeah.
That's the one
time. Do you have Mountie boots?
Pardon?
No. Do you have Mountie boots or no?
I know. I wish I did, though. Those would be badass. But those would be only for the boudoir.
The jacket instead, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Brent's like, I'll give you a $5 and these boots for your pistol.
I have one of the OPP though, like Mountie style, like round brim hats, because a cousin of mine's a sergeant. The OPP.
Just for role play.
Exactly.
Well,
that's just for the weekends.
That better make appearance soon, because you can't just fucking throw that out there and not have that in there. I mean, come on. Mountie hats.
OPP.
I've never tried to barter for anybody's shoes before. That's fun. But,
you only live once, Joe. You got to try to trade someone for their boots.
Hello.
Guys, you have a great one. Thanks, as always, and I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, Will, for filling in this week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Willard.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for being joined.
A lot of great comments. Drink your coffee.
Coffee.
Drink your coffee.
Coffee.
Cup of coffee.
Are we still live?